Hey guys, welcome to the Prepping Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here. I hope God's truly blessed you. Hey, they're talking about dark winters. They're talking about possible power outages and having some problems with getting us power. You've been storing food, all right? Hopefully you should. You better have. All right, but now how will you cook it if there is no power? We're going to look at some alternative ways of being able to cook inside our house during this dark winter, so stay tuned. Well, as I said, this is the Prepping Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope God's truly blessed. Hey, if it's your first time with us, do me a favor. Don't hit the subscribe button. I know that sounds funny, but I want you to understand what we stand for first. All right, we are pro-God. That means we'll invoke the name of Jesus Christ in this channel. We are pro-family, and in that we are also pro-life. That means we do not support the murdering of innocent babies. We are also pro-Second Amendment. That means guns, things that go bang. All right, we're pro-military and pro-police. We support the blue. We back the blue, and we support our veterans. And guys, we're just pro these United States of America. Now, if any of them things offend you, well, first off, I got to ask what's wrong with you. But second off, leave. Don't get mad and leave. Just leave. Be an adult, change the channel. But you that are pro and you that have been hanging with me, well, God bless you. I'm glad you're here. And if this is your first time and you do support all of them, then hit the subscribe button, man, so we can get our voice out. I thank you for the comments. I thank you for all the emails and the support. You bless my heart. Well, the video that we're going to talk about basically today is the dark winter that Joe and everybody's talked about. If it comes upon us and you're putting food back, which you better be, well, what happens when the power goes out? How are you going to cook that food that you got? So we're going to show you about 3 different ways, actually 4, but 3 different ways that you can do it inside the home. So stay tuned. Well, one of the first ones that I love, and I discovered this year, and many people have been using them, but it's the rocket stove. And I'll put you a link up top to the rocket stove, but it does wonders, man. We've used it just burning drops off the trees, and can get a good fire going, and it's great to cook with. But the problem is, you can't use it inside. Now, you could probably use it in a fireplace where it would go up the flue, but what happens if you don't have a fireplace? Well, you can't use this stove inside the house. It's an open flame. And the soot and everything would be so bad. So what do? So I started looking to see what some alternatives are. I've got some alternatives, but I wanted to see some different ones here of what we could use. Now, the first one we looked at is this Kaufman's, and it's called a folding stove, and it uses sterno cans, and you're probably familiar with them. They're used in chafing dishes to keep food warm. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and so we tried it out. So stay tuned. All right, well, the first one we're going to look at here is this Coleman's folding stove, and it's for sterno. Now, this one, I found this in some time back on Amazon, but it's sold in some of the camping supply places. It's a little fold-up stove to use with the sterno. It works great in the house. Think about this. We use the chafing trays in a lot of commercial settings. Churches, we have them, and we use the sterno to keep the food hot. But you can also use it to cook. Now, first thing we have to do is unfold this thing. And it looks like a little kid's puzzle, but it's really simple. You can see the slot right there. Put that in there. Come into the other side. It's got a little door. So now you're ready. Now you're ready there, and that door will latch. You can see the latch there. Yeah, it's just a little sheet metal stove, but it is pretty sturdy. All right, we've got it on our stove, and so you can cook during the winter in the cold. You can cook right there at your on your stove. Now this was $6. I just picked it up at China Mart. $6 for a tube. This is a gel more so than the one with the wick, like I'm used to using in the chafing dishes, and it sits right in there. All right, now we're going to get us a pot, and we're going to see how long it takes us to boil some water. All right, now I've put a pot with 4 cups of water, and this weighs roughly 3.5 pounds with my pot in the water. So, and you see it's pretty sturdy there. Now, one thing about this is you are going to have a long, like a barbecue lighter, in order to light this, or long matches to get in there to light it. All right, we've got it lit now, and we'll go ahead and shut our door. So here we go. Okay, well, we've stopped at 45 minutes here. We're still only at 167 degrees. So that's a drawback. That's a con right there. It's too slow. If each one of those cans, each one of these is rated for 2 hours, well, you'll be lucky to boil 4 cups of water with one, is what's going on here. So it's putting out a good flame, as you can see, and it would have boiled faster probably if I put a top on, but I'm doing a control here. The sides, you know, they get a little warm. The top is definitely warm, and another drawback on it is this little lid, this little door here. You have to open it up to put the top back on, and then getting the top in there is going to be interesting. Try not to get that gel on you, because it is flammable. So, but now we have to put the top back on there, and see that draws it, it causes another problem. So I would not suggest getting one of these. I don't think it's going to do what we want it to do. There we go. We got the top on it now. So be very careful if you do have one of these, because it does get very hot. But this is definitely a fail for cooking inside the house. Well, as you can see, it took way too long. With one of these cans, and this was the gel type. I didn't try the alcohol with the wick, but this is the gel type that's suggested for it. When we tried it, it was taking over 45 minutes, and I couldn't get water to boil. That's not going to be economical. I mean, these things were about, I believe, $6, $3 a piece for this tube, and it says right on it, it's good for 2 hours. So you'd be lucky to get 2 pots of water boiled with this thing. So these kind of fold up with the sterno, guys. It's a fail. It's a fail. I would not waste my money on it. Now the next one we tried is a gas one, and I bought this system new just to try it out because I've read some great reviews on it. And this is it here. It comes in a nice little carrying case. What I love about it, some of the pluses, is that it will take propane and it will also take butane. And so you can use 2 different kinds of fuel. You can pick up the Coleman, either one, or you can pick up the propane, the butane or the propane. Now, the reason I say it's great is because 1 is none and 2 is 1. Just an old adage. But when the China virus hit, you couldn't find these propane tanks. And now I know that you can run off of a hose with a 20-pounder, but these are more convenient to carry around and to use. Also, I know that I can refill these with an adapter, and I may do a film on that. I've got an adapter for it, but I may run something on that later. But you just couldn't find these, but they had plenty of these in stock. I was finding them at the China Mart. But the gas one, like I said, it's a dual fuel. It comes in a nice little carrying case, and it's nothing fancy. So this one here is a GS 3400P. So we're going to test it out. We'll open it up here and get it out. All right. There it is. Now, when you take it out, it's stored with the eye down like that. Now, this is just a standard propane, little propane stove is what it is, but it's dual fuel. It'll use the butane or the propane. So let's go ahead, and it's pretty simple. Here's the hose for the propane. We'll show that in a little bit, where you can use the 1-pound tanks. Now, I've got a Coleman butane fuel here. Make sure your switch is off. Place your can inside. It fits right in. You got to have this little tab. Let me show you here. That little tab, that little hole there, to go inside the tab. All right. Get it inside that nozzle there. Now, just take this switch right here. Now it's locked in. Now, shut that. Come around, Let's ignite. And there we go. Boy, we got a flame. All right, we're going to do the same test that we did last time with the pot of water sitting on it. All right, we got it. And we are cooking. Same amount of water, same pot. Let's see how long it takes to boil this water. Clearly a hands down winner. 4 minutes and 44 seconds. All right, now the gas line on this gas 1 here is really quite simple. This is so you can use propane. It comes with the included hose, like you see here. Okay, and what it has to do, what I do is I run it through this hole here, and then there's a fitting right there. I don't know if you can see that, but tighten it up, get it good and tight. All right, then we come to the tank. You can go ahead and shut this. Come to the tank, and it screws on here. Make sure you get a good tight seal. This way you're not limited to the butane. That's one thing I like about this gas 1 is that you're not limited. And during last year with the China virus and everything, the propane bottles were hard to find, but there were butane out there, so it wasn't that hard to find. So lock it down, turn it on, pop the igniter. There you go. Now we're cooking with gas. Well, as I said, this gas 1, yeah, it's a good unit. It's a 1 burner. That's one of its limitations there, that it only has 1 burner on it. It heated up the water pretty quick. It would work in a pinch during during lights out, during the dark winter. You could cook your food on it, but the limitations with it is that 1 burner. And so I prefer my favorite, and we're going to take a look at it, and that's the Coleman. And now this is just the classic Coleman propane 2-burner stove. Here you can see it on the front there. It is just a standard cook stove. I've been using them for probably 40 of my years, and so we're going to try it out in the kitchen. So this is a fairly new model. We bought a new model a few years back. What I love about it is that it's 2-burner. Now it's really simple to operate. Basically, these are your windshields here, all right, and you basically can plug it in like so into it. There's a lot of it's just a simple stove to use. It uses the 1-pounders, and you can put a hose on it also. Sorry for all the noise, but this just plugs in right here on the side. See if I can turn it so you can see here. All right, I'll turn it so you can see. You basically there's a fitting right there, and you screw that in, get a good tight fit on it. There we go. And then it's just as simple as putting your bottle, the 1-pound bottle that we buy from, that you can buy at Walmart or Tractor Supply, the 1 pound, or you can put it, like I said, put a hose on it. Screw it in. All right. Get a good tight seal on it. And that's all she wrote. Now we're going to do the same test that we had on our with our other burners. Now one negative on the Coleman, the standard Coleman, it doesn't have the Dietz igniter, so you have to have a fire source to light it. And it's just like lighting an old stove. Turn on your gas, turn it down, and light. That's all she wrote. All right, let's see how long it takes to boil this water. All right, that took a little bit longer than the gas 1 stove. We're right at 5.5 minutes with it. Now, the great thing about this Coleman 2-burner is exactly that, 2 burners. where I can put, you can see I've got a large skillet here and a pot going where we can be cooking full meals on this stove. And it's safe to use on the inside. You know, as long as you got a little ventilation, always have ventilation around you when you're running any type of propane product. But it's a great, I think maybe $45 is what they're costing now. So this here is it's a winner for cooking on inside during this black winter that they're talking about, or when power's gone. This is one way to do it. Well, as you can see, the Coleman stove, it's pretty simple. Now, one thing, the cheaper models like I have, it doesn't have that Dietz igniter on it, but that's okay. I've got ways of putting fire to the gas and getting it going with it. So that's not a limit to me on that. But it does have the pro of having two burners. And as you saw, I put a big skillet and a pot on there where you could be cooking two separate things off that one bottle. Now, again, the bottle, you can use the 1 pounders, or you can get a hose with the regulator and put on there and have it hooked up that way. It's very versatile, but the Coleman doesn't take the butane fuel. So there's where the gas one has an advantage over it. So you have to weigh these out. I would say for a one person or two people that the gas one works great for them. I would say if there's more than two in the home, I would look at the Coleman cook stove. Now, I know there's some knockoffs of it. I think Harbor Freight has one, and I believe China Mart has a Ozark Trail. And so they're all kind. They've been copying. I just love the Coleman. It's always worked for me. They've been good. I've used Coleman with white gas and then graduated to the propane. So I'm particular. If something works, I stick with it. That's just me. So guys, if you made it this far, well, God bless you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, man. That's that valuable asset that we can never get back. And I hope I've taught you something. And if I have, man, hit the thumbs up. If you've got any questions, be sure and put them in the comments. Now, I'm going to just give you this warning on using any type of propane tool, like the stove, like the heaters, anything. Use common sense, okay? Make sure that your connections are good and tight so you're not leaking. Have a carbon monoxide detector in the home if you're using these propane. These are meant for emergency times, and so you can use them in those emergency times, all right? So, guys, I hope it helped. Always remember to put prayers down in the comments. If you've got a prayer request, put them there. Or you can leave me an email if you don't want to air it out in public. You can send it. My email is always in the description. Don't forget that we have the prepandpreacher.com. We also have forums on there where you can talk about different things, and you can leave prayer requests there too. But guys, until I see you again, I'm praying God may richly bless you, and that you'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prep and Preacher, guys. I'm out of here.